Good day, it's Dr. Rapiti. Welcome to another video. It's Friday, the 5th of September 2025, and today is the D-Day, or the final day, when anybody that's interested in the debate or the issue of the Department of Education making vaccines mandatory for school entry, it is the day when you will have the final day for you to submit your concerns and your objections to the Department of Health to state how you feel about it. And the email address to submit your concerns would be info@dbe.gov.za. I shall repeat it. It's info@dbe.gov.za. Now, the issue here is not whether you are pro-vax or anti-vax. You know, there are both sides of the divide, and we should respect either side for whatever their beliefs are, religious or scientific. The issue here is whether it should be made mandatory. Now, I'm not an expert in vaccinology or vaccines or a virologist, but over the last 5 years, followed the literature, followed the debates intensively and assiduously to come to the conclusion we cannot make these vaccines or any vaccines mandatory, for that matter, any drug mandatory. It's first of all against the Constitution. And secondly, when a drug or a vaccine, whatever, is not properly tested, or there are any doubts about its efficacy or its safety, then you have a right to reject it, and nobody can impose that upon you. I think to qualify what I'm saying in my stance, I would like to share some examples that are very worrying for me. And that is, as this data came out from the CDC far back as in the mid-2010 or somewhere around then, where it was revealed from the CDC data that the incidence of autism was 227% or 276% more in those children who received the MMR vaccine early compared to those who received it later. The question is, why was this important and vital information hidden away from society? What did the CDC want to hide from the public? Surely this is the information that we as the public, we as doctors need to know before we advise our patients on what's safe and what is effective and whether one should use a vaccine. The second one was the HPV vaccine, which was touted as the vaccine that is safe and effective and prevent cancer of cervical cancer. And what it turned out, somebody's done a lot of research, and I just watched her video recounting her research, and what it was established. There were 73,000 adverse events reported against HPV vaccine. It wasn't properly tested. There were 553 deaths. And the lady giving this testimony to the U.S. Senate mentioned that she lost a perfectly healthy 20-year-old child after the third vaccine. It was proved conclusively that her death was caused as an autoimmune reaction from the HPV vaccine. And she was awarded the claim, and the CDC did confess that it was the vaccine that caused it. Lastly, Joseph Ladopa, who is the Surgeon General of Florida, has come out clearly and blazing that the vaccines are not proven to be safe and effective, and he's declared in the state of Florida, all vaccines will not be mandatory. And I think that is sufficient. We're not saying don't take the vaccine or take the vaccine. I'm not in that position to guide you. As a parent, a grandparent of a little child, I am concerned about the future of this child. And I think it's up to you to get the information you want and then make a decision on whether you want your child. What we as parents and advocates against mandatory vaccines are saying is that give us the right to decide what is best for our child. Nobody should deny us that right. And I think it's a parent's individual right to decide what's good for their children. And according to Joseph Ladopa, I agree with him fully that it's morally indefensible to expect somebody to take a vaccine against their wishes. And I think that's our constitutional right. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think before, even if it's proven to be safe and effective, it still remains the choice of an individual. And so we can go on about this and find out whether vaccines are relevant or not relevant. I think we're living in different times. People often ask me in my last post, is it safe to use vaccines? I think the question we should ask is how unsafe it is if we don't use vaccines. The reality is that we don't live in a bygone era in the 50s when sanitation was terrible. And that time we thought vaccines were the answer to everything. But the reality is that it's better hygiene, better socioeconomic conditions that contributed significantly. In my mind, and from my reading of the literature, I think these two factors contributed significantly to the decline in infant mortality. I think the question we should be asking is, how dangerous are these vaccines? And if you think about the two figures I've given you, bear in mind that only 1% of adverse events are reported because people just don't know what are the signs. If you ask the average doctor what is the side effect of the HPV vaccine, he's not going to be able to tell you, because the only people who seem to have the information on this are the drug manufacturers. And if they are so safe, so effective, why on earth are they being indemnified? So my call to all of you is to seriously think about requesting the Department of Education to hold back on making vaccination mandatory for school entry. I think this is highly discriminatory. We cannot allow it to take place, and we hope that they will have a change of heart. And this will only happen if you, the public, make a stand and decide whether you're going to allow this to take place, because your children in the end will be the ones who bear the brunt of the wrong decision. With that, I leave you to decide. You've got the final moments to have your say. Take care. God bless. See you in the next video.